Welcome to your weekly forecast. My name is Adina. I'm a professional astrologer and spiritual life coach. In this weekly video, we will be going over the energy for July 10th to the 16th of 2023. If you align with my energy and you enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I always start off these weekly videos by going over some of the energy that we've been moving through, and then we get into the energy for the week ahead. Coming into the week, we have the nodes at 0 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So this means that there is a final closing out and understanding of the Taurus and Scorpio areas of your chart, of your life. So whatever changes you've made since February of 2022, when the nodes entered Taurus and Scorpio, now there's a closing out of that energy. You can reflect back to all the changes that you've really made. The nodes are very faded, very karmic energy. And so the North Node entering Taurus collectively has really given us an understanding of changes with our money, with our financial systems, with our food supply, with our housing. There's been a lot of changes, and we do have still a lot of energy in Taurus, so there will still be change. However, I feel like the North Node being in Taurus really gave us an idea of what those changes really look like. With the South Node in Scorpio collectively, this can really be things that have come to the surface, maybe things that were hidden, private, secretive. Scorpio can be very private and secretive. And so there has been a lot that has come to the surface, information that we really didn't know before that. And so this is a time where there's just a closing out of all of that energy. There's an understanding. There's this realization of how far you've come really in the journey, in this Taurus Scorpio journey of your life. Now, I did post a video about the nodes entering Aries and Libra. So if you watch that video, I will put it at the end of this video, the link. If you watch that video, you'll have an understanding of what is coming in for you when it comes to the nodes entering Taurus or entering Aries and Libra, and then it'll also give you an idea of the whole Taurus and Scorpio area as well. I believe I go into all of that energy, and I go into all 12 rising signs. So I will link that video at the end, and you can check that out. Now, another energy that you can also check out, another video is I posted a video about the nodes and Pluto having a T-square. Pluto is T-squaring the North Node and the South Node. And so with the nodes being at 0 degrees, this energy is becoming more intense. I will also post the link to that video at the end so you can really get an idea of what all of that energy looks like and feels like. But basically, coming into the week with the nodes being at 0 degrees, all of that intense energy for transformation, for releasing, for letting go, for really getting to the bottom and having this realization of what needs to be released and let go of, and what this transformation really looks like for you. This energy is becoming more intense now. As soon as the nodes enter Aries and Libra at that 29th degree, because the nodes move backwards, not forwards. So for them, 0 degrees is the last degree, and then they move into 29 degrees. And so I know it can be a little bit confusing, but once the nodes enter Aries and Libra and hit that 29th degree, that T-square between Pluto and the nodes become exact. So you definitely want to check out that video, because there's other energy coinciding with that, which makes it a lot more intense. So make sure you check that out. But we have the nodes, like the nodes are shifting into Aries and Libra in a week. So this energy is building up. It's becoming more intense. So pay attention to how you're feeling. What is showing up for you during this time that can be very faded, very karmic, that can really change your direction in some way. We also have Venus reaching those last degree points before she stations retrograde July 22nd. So I also posted a video about this, about Venus retrograding in Leo, and I go into all 12 rising signs, so you can also check that out. I will link it at the end as well. But this is an energy of reflecting, reevaluating, redirecting, and reworking energy really around relationships, around your self-love, your self-worth, your self-value, what you need, want, and desire, and what is no longer in alignment with you, and what who you want to be, who you want to step into. And so this energy is really all happening as the nodes change. And that's why this month is so significant. That's why the next few months and even this year is so significant for change, for transformation, because there's just so much energy around that. There's so much energy right now around rediscovering yourself, self-development, what you truly want, need, and desire, who you want to be, and what is no longer in alignment with you. And so we're in that energy now. We are in it. And, we've all been talking about it for so long now. And now we're finally kind of in it, and the buildup is here. We're in the buildup, and we're almost at the edge. So you want to be paying attention to what is showing up at this time, what is coming up for you for reevaluating when it comes to your self-worth, your self-love, and really stepping into self-development, and maybe even wanting to completely just recreate yourself, become someone now that is in alignment with who you want to be, and start changing those actions, making those changes in your life to recreate yourself and to be able to change and transform into this new you. So coming into Monday, we have Mars at 29 degrees of Leo, and then eventually moves into Virgo. Now, while Mars is at that 29th degree, Mars is going to be forming an in conjunction to Pluto. So this is where things can really feel uncomfortable, or energy blockages can be coming up, or emotional blockages can be coming up when it has to do with taking action and stepping into the unknown, really, because there is this yod where there's an in conjunction between Mars and Pluto, and an in conjunction between Mars and Neptune. Neptune can really be that energy of confusion, of illusion, of not having a clear understanding of the direction that you need to take, but that something needs to change in a sense. And so this can feel really uncomfortable. Now, once Mars enters Virgo, Mars is aspecting the nodes. Mars is forming a sextile to the south node and a trine to the north node. And so this is where there's something that you need to change, or there's something you need to take action with or action on. And it can feel unknown. It can feel uncomfortable. However, if you take action in letting go of something, because the south node usually represents something that needs to be released or let go of, there's beautiful energy coming in and beautiful opportunity to really push you in this new direction. That's a part of your journey. That's a part of your purpose. Because with trines, it's a really easy flowing energy that's coming in that you can follow. So Mars is taking action, and the north node is a part of your purpose, your journey, the direction you want to move in. So there's really this energy Monday and Tuesday that's coming in where there can be opportunities. There can be something coming up for you that's unknown, that's uncomfortable, that really requires you to just release fear and step into something new so you can transform, so that you can take these next steps in your journey, this next steps towards this new you. Now, at the same time, we also have on Monday and Tuesday, Mercury forming an opposition to Pluto. And this is where it can become really intense, because Mercury represents our mind, our mindset, and our thoughts, right? And so opposing Pluto, we can have very deep, intense thoughts. We can also have very intuitive thoughts and intuitive downloads. So Monday and Tuesday, we really want to, it's going to feel intense because there's a lot of Pluto energy, there's Mars, there's Mercury. So we really want to be aware of the thoughts that we're having. We want to be mindful of that. We want to journal so that we can really keep track of what is showing up for us and how we are feeling, so that we can have an understanding of what is in alignment with us. We really want to have that awareness and be mindful of how you're feeling, the thoughts that are coming in for you, so that you can, at the end of the day, really make the decision that is in alignment with you. While Mercury is opposing Pluto, Mercury is also coming off of that trine to Neptune. So, Mercury forming a trine to Neptune is really creative. This can also really bring in strong intuition, strong creative flow. So, while Mercury is forming that opposition to Pluto, still coming off of that trine to Neptune, again, we want to make sure that we are journaling those thoughts that are coming to us, because we can even have thoughts that can really push us towards transformation. There can be these intuitive downloads coming in, or these ideas or creative ideas coming in that can really be transformative in some way. On Tuesday, we have Mercury enter Leo and then square the nodes. And so this is where there can be this conflicting energy, or there can be some type of block or stop to something when it has to do with releasing and letting go and leaving behind something in order to kind of move into this new direction. So this all has to do with this nodal direction, right? Because the north node is the direction we're moving into. The south node is what we're releasing, letting go of. Now, I do want to make it clear, we don't ever really want to come fully out of our south node. The south node is where we are comfortable. The south node is what we are used to. The north node is new to us. It's uncomfortable. It's unknown, but it's a direction that our soul really wants to take in this lifetime. So whenever we are talking about squares to the nodes, that's where there's something coming up that's conflicting, that is where you want to do both, where something can really be uncomfortable and requires you to step out of your comfort zone. So with Mercury squaring the nodes on Tuesday, this can really feel like this can even really show up as you really getting these intuitive downloads. Because remember, Mercury is also aspecting, coming off of that trine to Neptune and opposition to Pluto. So there's a lot of energy here around thoughts, intuitive downloads, or information coming in that can really push you into this new direction. But again, it's out of your comfort zone. It requires you to possibly step out of what you're used to. For example, let's just say we are talking about creativity. We're talking about starting something new, because this is kind of really bringing in that Neptune energy. So let's just say something comes up where you are, getting these intuitive downloads to create something, but this is completely outside of your comfort zone, or something that you're not used to, or really requires you to release and let go of fear. That is totally something that can show up with this energy. Pluto can really represent fear, can really represent transformation. Neptune can really represent creativity and ideas. And Mercury can be those thoughts, can be that information. But the square to the nodes can be where this is something uncomfortable. This is something that is unknown. This requires me to really get out of my comfort zone, to get out of what I know about myself or know how I used to be, and step into this new version of myself, which will push me into this new direction. So creating something maybe that you wanted to put online, creating a course or something, along those lines that you've really wanted to do, but maybe not felt good enough, maybe felt completely out of your comfort zone. This is really going to require you to release those fears. Why do you feel not good enough? This is where that self-development and self-discovery really comes in, where there's a lot of us that are really stepping into these new versions, but it's out of our comfort zone. So if this is something that really aligns with you, journaling, having that self-awareness can really help you through those tough moments, those challenging moments where you don't feel good enough, where you feel, you have that imposter syndrome. We really have to get out of the perception and those programs that we have and that we've developed through lifetimes, where we feel like, things have to be done a certain way, or you have to have, be this way or do that in order for it to look like this. We really have to, step out of that those programs. And we all have programs. We've all been programs, and there's no programs. We've all been programmed in some way. And so understanding what your program is that's really stopping you from doing the thing, or stopping you from doing what it is that you want to do that's in alignment with you, that is where self-development can come in. Discovering where that program comes from, what that program is, and really how to heal from it. And I will be talking more about this on my channel, because this is something I've gone through that I feel very strongly about. And so if I can help anyone else kind of move through this, it's something that is a part of my purpose and journey. So I will be talking a lot about that. But this is a big energy that we will be moving through this week, where there can be these uncomfortable feelings, these unknown feelings kind of coming up around fear, around, stepping out of your comfort zone. But again, if you can discover how to know and understand what is in alignment with you, when it clicks, when it feels right, you're making the right choice. And developing that trust within yourself and that trust with your intuition is absolutely key when it comes to making those decisions and doing what is in alignment with you. On Tuesday, we also have the sun forming a square to Chiron. And so again, this can really have to do with those vulnerabilities or those wounds that you developed through childhood, those programs, that not feeling good enough. So there is a lot of energy around here on Tuesday of, really wanting to do something, or getting the idea to do something, or information coming to you. However, it's just not feeling, it's really, bringing something up from, a program from childhood, or a wound, or a vulnerability that you developed through childhood or through this lifetime in some way. So this is energy that we really want to be aware of, because if we really want to do the work, and we really want to make those changes and transform and do that self-work, that work on ourselves, to develop that self-trust, to develop that intuition, and to really step into this new you, it requires that healing aspect. So healing. And so this is where we can have something come up where we have an understanding of what exactly needs to be healed, what we need to heal within ourselves. So you really want to pay attention to what's showing up on Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday. What information's coming to you? What intuitive downloads? What thoughts are you getting around this time? How are you feeling? So journaling can absolutely help at this time, writing down the vulnerabilities that are coming up for you, the fears that are coming up from old trauma or some type of old experience. This is really going to help you hone in on what you need to heal about yourself. What do you need to heal, where you can develop that, becoming self-aware, developing that what's the word I'm looking for? Self-assured, I think, but it's not the word I'm looking for, but that basically that, where you are sure of who you are, you know who you are, you're comfortable in your own skin, you are comfortable being you. This is a lot of energy we will be moving through and having to heal and develop. So, being mindful of what is showing up for you, being mindful of those wounds coming up, because again, the sun forming a square to Chiron can really bring something up when it has to do with how you're expressing yourself. And this really kind of goes with what I've already mentioned with, with Mercury, and where there's just a lot of energy coming in and you're wanting to express yourself. You're wanting to do the thing, but fears are coming up. Vulnerabilities are coming up, based on past experiences, based on programs and how you were possibly raised, or fears that you developed through an experience in childhood. This is kind of all being activated this week. So again, journaling through and really writing down how you're feeling, what exactly is coming up, and then reflecting back. And I will post videos on this to really help you move through all of this, because this can really help. But this is a lot of energy that we are moving through, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Thursday, Venus reaches that 27-degree point in Leo. Venus stations retrograde at 28 degrees. But once Venus reaches 27 degrees, Venus now enters this energy with this yod between Pluto and Neptune. So this is the same yod that Mars just had between Pluto and Neptune at the beginning of the week, where it was like, taking action with something. And this could all have to do with, transformation, but unknown. Now this has to do with how you feel about yourself. This can have to do with a relationship. This can have to do with your self-love, your self-worth. This can also have to do with your finances. Venus can also represent finances. But really what this energy can feel like is there's confusion. In conjunctions is where nothing is really in alignment with this energy. So this is where you can feel like something's not in alignment. You can be very confused. You can be in the unknown. The best way to really move through this is to have that self-awareness and journal. And I say it all the time, and I will continue to say it because it just helps so much. But really having the self-awareness of how you are feeling, what is showing up for you, and journaling about it is going to help you move through this energy and have a better understanding of what is showing up for you and really how to work with that energy. Because of the other energy that's kind of coinciding, this is where we have a lot of wounds showing up, a lot of vulnerabilities. This is where we can really discover programs that we've developed through this lifetime that has shaped us into who we are today. But we're having the understanding that that program is not aligned with who you want to be. So this is where you can really have that understanding of basically the best way to really kind of explain it is where you can have an understanding that there is a program, but you need to journal and have the self-awareness to really discover what that program is. So then you can heal through it, and healing that program is going to be while Venus is retrograde. So I hope that kind of made sense to you. On Friday, there can be a lot of creative ideas coming in or a lot of intuitive downloads, but there can be this energy here where you're not exactly sure how to execute them. So there's a Mercury-Saturn in conjunction. Now, because Mercury is in Leo, this is where Mercury becomes very creative, very courageous. And so there's a lot of energy here where you're really wanting to tap into your creativity and you're having a lot of these ideas come in. But because Saturn is retrograde, this may require you to really sit with it and reflect and reevaluate the direction. But because there's the in conjunction, there's something that's off. There's something that was possibly confusing, or there's an energetic blockage or imbalance in some way. So this is just something to kind of be aware of. And then also on Friday, we have the sun sextiling Uranus. And this can really bring in some type of sudden opportunity for something that really requires you to take action with. And remember, the sun is how you express yourself. When Uranus is in play, this is where it can be very chaotic, or it can be very unexpected or very sudden. So definitely something you really want to watch for on Friday when it has to do with something that when it has to do with your self-expression. Now on Sunday, we have Mercury forming a square to Jupiter. So again, Mercury is in Leo. There's a lot of this creative energy, but because there is a square to Jupiter, there may be just a lack of clarity or some type of energetic block that needs to be worked through. So this week is quite intense. We're kind of coming into it, but I really hope that I've explained kind of how these energies can show up for you. And I'm really trying to work the astrological energies around self-development, because it's really the direction that I'm taking my business in, and that I want to take this channel in, where I'm using the astrological energies to help you with self-discovery and self-development, and really help you understand your personal journey and how to heal, and a part of this like awakening. And so we're kind of in a lot of this energy now, and it's going to show up this week. So I really highly suggest, journaling and really tapping into those energies and having the understanding. And I posted a video about developing your intuition, so you can check that out. I talk a lot about developing your intuition and little techniques that I've used that have helped me. But really we're coming into this time of, I know I keep saying it, but, self-discovery and, really being able to, what do you want to do? What do you want to do that is in alignment with you? What fears do you have? What programs do you have? What do you need to discover about yourself? And is this something that you even want to do? We're coming into the North Node entering Aries. And so this very much has to do with the self and having and doing this like self-development and discovering who you truly are and the power that you have. So I'm going to make so many videos about this and I'm really excited. That's why I keep talking about it. But anyways, this is the weekly forecast. And if you are still with me, thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope that this helps you kind of move through the energy this week. And I will connect with you in the next one.